Breaking news, the IRS just announced tax relief payments for families impacted by the Red Hill water crisis. In 2022, the Department of Defense made payments to affected civilian employees and their families for reimbursement of lodging, meals, and personal property damage expenses. Now, anyone who received those DoD payments can exclude the payment in their gross income. Taxpayers who have already filed their 2022 federal income tax returns and included the payment in their gross income should consider filing amended returns on Form 1040X. Now, this comes after the IRS originally said they would tax the emergency assistance, causing lawmakers to call on the IRS and DoD to reverse that decision. Hawaii U.S. Senator Brian Schatz, one of those lawmakers. He joins me now over Zoom. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And I know this has been a fight you've been in for over a month now to get this decision reversed. With the news this morning, how are you feeling?
Well, it's great. It was a team effort. The entire congressional delegation was engaged. It was ridiculous. Look, reimbursements are reimbursement. They're not income. This was the government's fault. This was the United States Department of the Navy's fault for causing the pollution event and causing the displacement and all of the expenses. And so it was only right to have the government provide reimbursement. But then it was sort of insult to injury to treat that like it was taxable income. It really never was. But we had to work really hard with the Department of Treasury, the IRS, with the DOD, and with the White House, who had eyeballs on this, to make sure that this landed in the right place. So it's a victory, but it should have never come to this.
And now I know the important thing is making sure families impacted by the Red Hill water crisis know that this is now a possibility for them. But what, I guess, happens moving forward for them? I'm sure you're still fighting for them.
Yeah, we're still fighting for them. And a lot of people have some health concerns that we have to make sure from the standpoint of our obligations in passing the next defense bill, that we take care of these people who may have long-term health implications and difficulties from the Red Hill spill. But in the short run, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's really essential that anyone that actually filed their taxes or is in the process of filing their taxes know that this is not income, that they will not be taxed on it. And if they were one of those rare people who got their taxes in early, first of all, congratulations. That's impressive. But second of all, you should amend your form, because you don't have to pay taxes on any reimbursement. And that's a common sense understanding of the law, but the DOD and the IRS had it wrong for about a month, and finally it's fixed.
And I know taxes are due April 18th for those federal ones. Here in the state of Hawaii, it's April 20th. But once we pass those deadlines, can they still fill out that form to reverse this if they already filed their taxes, or is that a deadline for them as well?
Well, my suggestion is you get it in right the first time, but you're always entitled to amend your tax returns, and this would just be a pretty routine amendment. And of course, the IRS is tracking this issue now, so I wouldn't anticipate any trouble there. I will say I'm not a tax preparer or an attorney or an accountant, so you got to talk to your own tax preparer and to the IRS directly, because your particular circumstances may differ from others. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, the federal government is not treating any reimbursements as though it is income. That issue is resolved.
And Senator, can Red Hill families expect any additional payments moving forward that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of. I think the one thing we are tracking is, again, the long-term health impacts. And there are some families who are absolutely struggling. There's a process to make sure that the Department of Defense makes families like that whole. They did it in Camp Lejeune. We did it with the PACT Act, which helps our veterans who have been exposed to toxic chemicals, especially burn pits. So there is a well-worn pathway for families like this. And so we're going to work that pathway to make sure that they're eligible for whatever it is that will make them whole from that pollution event.
Well, thank you, Senator, for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.